a two-time former president of Costa Rica, Dr.Oscar Arias Sanchez. Could you, Mr. President, as a Nobel Peace Prize, tell us the importance of the peace plan for Central America and the world democracy?
Yes, when I was running for president in the mid-80s, in 1985, as I'm sure you are all aware, Central America was involved in a very bloody conflict. The two superpowers were involved, the Soviet Union and the US and Cuba.
Mr. President, what can we do as young people to help preserve the peace and progress around the world?
Well, I already mentioned, that it is very unfortunate. Because in the history of humankind, the moments we have enjoyed peace are very few, very short. In the history of humankind, you can count the periods when we have enjoyed peace by weeks, months, years, perhaps decades. But the periods of wars are counted by centuries. So the problem here is that many governments are quite ready to try to solve conflicts by force, using military force, using arms. And I believe, and that's what we proved to the world here in Central America, because the two superpowers wanted a military victory. The Soviet Union wanted the guerrillas, Marxist guerrillas in El Salvador and Guatemala to win, and the Sandinistas to win and remain in power in Nicaragua, and the US wanted the Contras to win in Nicaragua, and President Napoleon Duarte and Vinicius Cerezo to remain in power in El Salvador and Guatemala. So, the most obvious example is, of course, the US. The US is always ready to use military force in order to solve conflicts. The very few times they have tried dialogue and negotiations. One obvious example is President Carter with Sadat from Egypt and Begin from Israel, and he was able to settle the conflict between the two countries, Israel and Egypt.
Please, could you give a message to Jude School students about the importance of respecting human rights?
Well, we have had the Declaration of Human Rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights since 1948. And I don't want to, repeat what everybody says about human rights. The fact that we need to defend human rights, protect human rights. But the most essential human right is life itself. So what I already told you about the use of military force is a good answer for this question. Because if we can avoid the use of military force, the use of arms, then we are protecting the most important human right, the right to live. But I also want to add something else. Let us not only talk about human rights, let us also talk about human responsibilities. And that's been missing in the world we live. Because no one talks about human responsibilities. And societies, governments, individuals, we also have human responsibilities. So that is perhaps your homework, the homework of the students in your school, to start thinking about drafting a new declaration of human responsibilities.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's a pleasure.
Muchas gracias, don Oscar.